More Stars by John Green is about a girl named Hazel who goes through this book being diagnosed with stage 4 thyroid cancer. I have mixed feelings about this book, and that's because of many reasons, but right now I'm just going to do a quick review before I go into spoilers. So, The Fault in Our Stars is actually a pretty good book. I rated it 4 out of 5. Out of 5 stars, I rated it a 4. It goes a lot about Hazel and how she meets this boy named Augustus through a support group and how they live their life together and stuff like that. And so if you were wondering if you should go read this book, if you want to, I mean, it is a really good book, and I'm one of the people that didn't particularly like it, but I didn't hate it either. So I would recommend this book, but I also wouldn't go crazy about it. So it's up to you if you want to read it. And now I'm going to start the video with some spoilers. So if you haven't read it, go read it and then return to this point in the video. I have mixed feelings about this book. Mainly because, to me, it didn't have much of a plot line. I understand that the plot line was probably her life with Augustus and their adventures and such, but to me, that isn't a plot line. There is no inciting moment, and there was, like, no reason for him to write this book, and it wasn't until I got to towards the end of the book where I realized there was a reason. There was a reason for him to tell this story about a girl who had cancer, and there was a reason why he included Augustus, who eventually died. And I did get sad when Augustus died, but I didn't cry. This book made me reflect on life, and I didn't expect it to do that. People have been praising it, so I expected something else out of the book, and it kind of disappointed me. But in that last 100 pages, I just sat there and I read it, and I realized that John Green was supposed to be, telling us about life, and that's how life is. And I was talking to my friend, and I said that I didn't like how Augustus died and Hazel didn't. And she made it a point of, he was trying to say that death isn't fair. It doesn't, do things like that. And he sort of ended the book with your imagination to what happens to Hazel and stuff like that. I've never read a John Green book before, but I've always wanted to, and I refused to read this book for the longest time because my brother was into it, and he was into John Green, and he was into the whole nerd fighters thing. But I didn't know how to grasp this book, and I'm still trying to figure it out. And what has really affected me is Augustus' letter to Van Houten in the end, and how he wrote those pages for Van Houten for him to write a sequel for Hazel. And in those last pages of what he wrote in his life, he really explained how much he really cared about Hazel and how much he loved her. And you always knew that through the book with, his parents saying, he really loved you, and with Isaac saying, he really loved you. And it just kind of brought a new reality, seeing something from his perspective and such. And it's made me think about my life a little bit, and I don't know, it's kind of sitting weirdly with me. It's like, I did like it on some level, but again, I didn't like it because of the whole, plot, and I didn't really know, I don't know how to take it, and so I have to go to school now and talk to my public speaking teacher because he told me that I was going to get misty-eyed, and he was right, because I read it, and I was saying, I'm not going to cry during this book, and I didn't, because to me, it was sad. But the thing is, it's about people who have cancer. It's expected to be sad. You're kind of going into it expecting someone's going to die in it, because it's about Hazel having cancer. I don't know. This book has really changed how I think about life, and I think that's the point of John Green writing this book, is for people, teenagers mostly, to reflect on life. And oftentimes I forgot that I was the same age as Augustus, 17, and, they just acted so much more mature, and I don't know. But I did rate it a 4 out of 5 stars, and I hope that, the movie kind of portrays some of the ideas in this book more so than the book itself did. And so I've been Courtney, you've been lovely, and I'll see you in my next video.